Hi everybody and welcome to the Opencontrail and Kubernetes demo. My name is Curtis and I'm working with IDX Labs, and we're just going to do a really quick little demo of Opencontrail and Kubernetes working together, with Contrail providing the network interface for Kubernetes. So just a couple of quick opening notes. So we just have a single node Contrail system based on Ubuntu. And we have Kubernetes deployed, and then in that we have Contrail deployed using Juniper's Contrail Docker repository, and more specifically the Kubernetes manifests that are in there around deploying on a single node system. And all we're going to do is a simple demo where we start up two busybox based pods and then have one of them ping the other one. And then we can go back into the Opencontrail web interface and we can see the flows. So before we get too far, maybe we should do a quick overview of what Contrail looks like. And this is a pretty complex diagram. But overall, it kind of looks the same. You can use Contrail with OpenStack and Kubernetes and bare metal. And in this diagram, we can see that there's a few pieces. So we have the controller, and within that, there's several pieces like analytics, and the metrics are being stored in things like Cassandra, and there's quite a few things that are running here, and we'll see some more of that in the rest of the demo. Mostly what's interesting in this demonstration is this vRouter piece. So in this diagram, there's lots of boxes, and suggested there's lots of hypervisors, but there's just one in this instance, and there's one vRouter. And also I've set up a single simple gateway so that I can access some of the pods that are running inside of the system. So from here, I will now hop over into a couple of shells. So I'm actually on the Opencontrail instance, or the Kubernetes instance with Opencontrail in it right now, and that instance is actually called Opencontrail-K8s. And all I'm going to do is start up a couple of busybox instances, find their IP addresses, and ping them. So I'll start up the first one in the top shell here, and I'll start up the second one in the bottom shell. And if I go back up to the top one, I can get the address of the busybox1 pod, and we can see that it's 10.47.255.250. I'll just copy that, and I can go down to the bottom shell, do an IP address show, and I can see that this one has gotten the IP address 244. So all I'm going to do is ping 250 from 244. And we can see that that's working. And now what I'm going to do is hop over into the Contrail web interface. I'm going to log in as admin. And here we are at the sort of front page of the Contrail web interface under monitoring, where we can see all of the, it gives you some information, a bit of a dashboard in terms of what's happening in Contrail. But at this point, what I'm going to do is go to virtual routers, and I'm going to pick the virtual router that's running on this Opencontrail-K8s instance, and then I'm going to go to flows. And so we can see there's quite a few things going on here, but one of them is this ICMP session. There's a couple of ICMP sessions based on the 250 and the 244 addresses. So you can see that, obviously Contrail is managing the network, so it knows about what flows are happening in the system. Also, I have a Weave Scope instance running in this system in Kubernetes, and Weave Scope is kind of helpful because it can give you like a visual, it can provide a visual display of what's actually happening and what's connected in your system. We can see that in this Weave Scope, we can see all of the different components that are running the Contrail containers. So we have a Contrail agent container, a Kube manager container, an analytics container, a controller, an analytics DB. So these are all parts of Contrail that are actually running from within the Kubernetes instance. And if I hop back into this, the shell is actually, I'll just stop this ping, and I'll exit from, if I can type exit properly here. I'll exit from the busybox, and then I can do get all the pods. Let me do pods. We can see that there's several Contrail instances running in the Kubernetes namespace, as well as we can see like the busybox instance that's running in the default. So that's it. That's just a quick demo of what's happening in a small Opencontrail and Kubernetes deployment. Thanks for listening.